The worst has happened to Nigerian government and the judiciary, as the world leaders have now stepped into the NNAMDI KANU trial due to the way, the rascality and the way they are handling the matter. So in this video, you are going to hear directly from these different activists who explain how the US, EU and the world leaders, others, have now come in and they are now having interest in this same issue because they don't believe again in Nigerian judiciary, and judiciary is the hope of every man in every state. But it is in Nigeria, it is the other way around. It is when you have the political elects, those who are in power, it is when you can say yes, you can have a fair judgment. But if you don't have, you will not. So, and NNAMDI KANU issue now has become a cause. It has become a case to the world. It is not only in Nigeria. They have now started studying who and what is this kind of man, who is this man. So, in the history of Nigeria, they have not seen somebody like NNAMDI KANU in the history of Nigeria in the world. So, other world leaders, they have now stepping in. And the way the country is, they are no more in support of the judicial system in Nigeria, and some of them is now threatening to be jailed due to the issue of NNAMDI KANU case if they did not handle it well. Imagine only one case, how many judges and lawyers have handled a case for how many years now. Still yet, they have not ever even see any meaningful thing in that same case. So my people, I would like you to sit by and watch this video to the end, because this US base, he really explained a lot of things about what is really going on and the issue of the NNAMDI KANU trial, how the world is now debating on it, and how Nigeria is now looking, and the way they are now looking Nigeria outside the world. As you're about to watch, like, subscribe and share it to go around for everyone to see things happening in Nigeria. Thank you.
May we listen to
here
you
to say you support Biafra or support NNAMDI KANU, but let's bring the legal side of it. Let's discuss this thing, based on a common ground. Now, whenever I say NNAMDI KANU, in fact, it's kind of like a lot of emotion comes up. We forgot to look at the legal side of things that guide us as a human. We forget to look at any nation that refuses to obey law. Any country that does not obey law does not exist. That country is hard to function. Many countries are doing well today because their laws are intact. Many countries are successful today because their law are being obeyed by their citizens. In fact, their government, number one, obey their law than before the citizen. Because you as a government, you will have to show good example for citizens to be able to follow. If you don't show good example as a leader, as a government of the country, how do you expect citizens to follow? Now, NNAMDI KANU case have been a case that many of us have been looking up to. If you're a young youth, if you're a young kid aspiring to be a lawyer, aspiring to be a doctor or auditing, you would like to listen to cases. In fact, some people go online just to track, legal side of it, just to read in order to create awareness on themselves or maybe for their family. So how can you read legal terms of NNAMDI KANU? There's nothing clear for Nigeria, and it's a shameful thing for Nigerian government to have had about four judges. This is not just lawyer, 4 judges, senior judges, the Federal High Court, 4. And what happened is, they told us yesterday that the file, James Omotoso say that the file is not recollectable, that they should make it available, that the lawyers should go and look for the file of whatever judgment they have given to NNAMDI KANU. And even people are just like, okay, I was expecting Nigerian news to carry this out and say, man, we are in a big shit here. How can a whole country, the judges, before they send a verdict, they have already documented everything. The court system have already documented everything to make sure that everything is documented, just for what? For reference, future reference. But what do we say in Nigeria? This judge said this and that said that. They cannot record. They say they don't have it. Then I ask myself, why did they still have NNAMDI KANU there? If they don't have any case pertaining to NNAMDI KANU, then why did they still have him? Which means NNAMDI KANU is not in existence. They are holding him illegally. You see, I'm not a lawyer, to be honest. I'm not a lawyer, but this is a common sense. If you have, I have appreciation for law. Okay, I'm not a lawyer, but I have appreciation for law. So I try as much as possible to read those kind of documents in order to create awareness, to give my own self a bit of knowledge. And I hope you two that are watching me will read any law documents in order to also, expose yourself or to give yourself such a background. Now let's go on this way. In Nigeria, what is it worth for you to study law? Do you know that some lawyers in Nigeria spend 7 years, some spend 6 years to study a law degree? At the end of the day, they spend all these 5 years, 6 years just to study a law degree. I'm not talking about chief judge, I'm not talking about SAN and all those titles they gave them. I'm just saying about common lawyer. Let me give you one good example if you guys will remember. There's one guy they called Deji. Deji claimed that he was a first-class lawyer, but he went and made accusation against Peter Obi. He cannot provide evidence against Peter Obi. Deji claimed that he's a good lawyer. He went and exposed his clients, which is what I call it, very dark man. He was online saying some things about him. Now, when you study law, even when you work, there's code of conduct. When you are defending a client, you are not meant to coming out to exposing that client. Whatever you and that client discuss is a confidential, because what happens, your opponent will use it against the client. Even when you guys depart, you are bounded by the law that you should not expose. Law should be protected, because you know what, criminals commit crimes. People do murder. People do a lot of crimes. Who did they convert that to? They tell the truth to their lawyer. It's all to their lawyer to take whatever that's available to argue their cause. That is why we say we appreciate law. When there's a common story that one of the Igbo editors, he said a man, why this does not sound good, but this is law to you. He said a man went and used his daughter. One of the show, credit to promoter. He said the man went and used his daughter. And when the wife got upset and called the court took the man to court. They say when they went to court, what happened? That the man get his own lawyer, the government get his own lawyer. When the government lawyer started questioning the man's lawyer came out and took out his coat that was then. And in front of the court, he poured kerosene, that's kerosene or petrol, just kerosene on the coat. Immediately he started burning he put matches on the coat. When the coat started burning, people say, what is wrong with this man? Why should he burn the coat? Then according to the singer, he said that the man come up and I say, let me start my case. My case is that I have my daughter and I use my daughter. At the end of the day, he said what I took is not someone's own, it's something that belongs to me. So they say case closed because that's his own daughter. Then now I know you may have all those and we may have different view, but this is how the case go. So what do you do then? You appreciate the lawyer for standing. This is what we call critical thinking. The lawyer win the case because of it think critically. In Nigeria, the lawyers win case because they think critically in Nigeria. Somebody spends 7 years to study law. To be a judge, a federal high court judge, you probably have spent almost 20 years in the business. You probably have spent 20 years and go through a lot of ridiculous degrees and studies and cases and write journals before you become a federal high court. But I know in Nigeria you may just go to get there through bribe. So there's no appreciation for us to go, children to see this and inspire to be a lawyer. My brother, our problem is that we don't have our mind. Yeah, thank you. So now, you see, the thing is that we don't inspire. How can children inspire to be a judge when we see that the same thing that the judge apply is something someone that said banana in the street will apply? Do you know what I say? What does it take you to win a case in Nigeria? Do you know in Nigeria it only take you 3 things to win a case? Do you know one? One is for you to have connection. Maybe your father is a governor or maybe he's a politician. Then you are above the law. The third is for you to have money. If you have money in Nigeria, you win case. It doesn't matter what people think. You already won that case. That's it. The fourth is that you are the arm of government. Maybe you are the federal government, you are the lawyer, you are the governor, you are the the president. Your case is win. There's nothing like law is being investigated. There's nothing like evidence before you. In Nigeria, you win a case by one being linked with politicians, then they throw away your case. Look at Natasha. Natasha accused the president that the president of Senate that he kind of raped her or harassed her sexually. They went and sealed her office. They suspended her for 6 months for saying that. What is actually reality? Nobody investigated that. It's reality. They concord himself because the law is that he is a powerful man. Secondly, if you have money, someone like Wike is being accused of buying nobody went and investigate or something because he is in power. Now, thirdly, is when you are the politician yourself. That's the only way. Now, tell me, how can somebody reason in Nigeria? NNAMDI Kanu case is going today because it's not in power. Because the power belongs to Tinubu's, people that want Nigeria to separate. Some people come and say, one Nigeria, we want one Nigeria. Do you know that the Igbos are actually the ones who wanting one Nigeria? The one Nigeria you say, someone that say you want one Nigeria, is only the rich Igbos thinking of that. If Tinubu want one Nigeria, NNAMDI Kanu case could have been settled since. They could have bring this thing out diplomatically. If other states want one Nigeria, you see what is happening in Lagos. Igbo stock shops are getting destroyed. That's not the mentality of one Nigeria, and nobody is getting to persecute anyone. There's no problem. If you want one Nigeria, the Igbo's elders have called, let's release NNAMDI Kanu. Release him, release him, release him. You continue to say no, no, no. What do you want? You want chaos. The people have called, my youth, we say release this guy, release this guy. You say no. What they want is chaos. It's not one Nigeria again. NNAMDI Kanu case is such a pathetic case, and it's also good for you as a Nigerian to expose where you come from. You see the bad government, you see the bad everything in the country. In the Western world, that's why if you're living in Western world, you have to appreciate the structure they put in Western world. Even when they have corruption in Western world, it's a limited corruption. You have to just appreciate the structure, how people function in Western world. In Western world, people, lawyers, judges go by evidence before them. Lawyers bring all the documents, all the evidence they can gather to defend their client. So when it comes before the court, lawyers bring whatever evidence they have, present it before the judge, right? So the judge can be able to see, everybody present their evidence. It's two lawyers now articulating. That's where you say IQ, you say academic qualification. People begin to reason. People begin to strike each other's brain. That's when you see somebody who commit crime will go free because the other lawyer win the argument with cool evidence. Now, what is the work of judge? The work of judge is to apply the evidence given to him and to make a reference with past judges. Then that's it. They win the case or you lose the case. So if you probably commit crime, you see people say committing crime is not enough for you to go to jail. You know that. It's what your lawyer present. You may get a good lawyer that argue your case. At the end of the day, they free you. You may get a good lawyer that argue your case. At the end of the day, you serve maybe crime that you need to serve 20 years. You serve 5 years, 3 years. That's why you get lawyers. And what's this law? Law is all about appreciation, where people try to read meanings, motive, psychology, mental health, and everything. Bring it together. They do holistic check on you. When I say holistic check on you, is that they check everything around you. What lead you to do this? They check both your background, your parents, everything around you. They check it. The lawyer will present those things and argue. Now, NNAMDI Kanu case have never been argued. What we see in NNAMDI Kanu case is kangaroo case. Kangaroo in Australia, they jump. They are making law on run. The justice say, I don't know what is going on. I don't even have. James yesterday say he doesn't even have record of NNAMDI Kanu being discharged or acquitted or whatever. He doesn't have record of it. So he doesn't have record that NNAMDI Kanu was brought from Kenya. Even when Kenya courts also have said it. He said he doesn't have record that NNAMDI Kanu was brought from Kenya. This is what happening. The lawyer should present the record that showed that NNAMDI Kanu was brought from Kenya. This is not lower court in Nigeria saying this. Even its lower court is a disgrace. But this is the federal high court. They thought they are doing those things just for them. Nigerians, we don't build for generation. These are something that generation will come tomorrow and see. They will sit down in the judgment seat, maybe 30, 40 years. They will not be in that seat. Generation will come and sit on the judge's seat and say, wow, this is a very great court here. What these people judge here is awesome. We saw what happened in INEC. We saw what's happening in NNAMDI KANU again. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in Africa, you have to be very worried in that country. You have to be very worried because country that does not have law. You see what we say now in Nigeria is that EFCC, who did they arrest? The Yahoo boys. Yahoo boys, because they don't have people. Why they arrest the Yahoo boys? Maybe they ask the Yahoo boys to give them the money. The Yahoo boys have finished the money. Then they will arrest the Yahoo boys. The next thing they give the Yahoo boys 20 years. They give him 5 years, 10 years. How about the politicians that are stealing? Nobody goes there. How about the chief judge that is saying things that are happening? Even though you have not seen, you have been hearing everything that happened. They said no. It's time that Nigeria wake up. Igbos, I feel like saying this, but Igbos are the weakest tribe in Nigeria. The weakest. We probably say we have the money, but Igbos are the weakest tribe in Nigeria. If you see, I'm going to make a broadcast about these Igbos. If you're an Igbo, you have to be worried. Igbos, I don't know what happened. They have elected leaders that actually let the generation down. Do you know all that happened? We did not see any Igbo governor coming to speak against to speak for NNAMDI KANU. Look at the Northerners. Do you know that the Northerners have not declared Boko Haram as a terrorist organization? It's Nigerian government calling that. The North have not recognized Boko Haram like that. You saw it. What happened? They brought Isaiah to come to Castina to make peace, to beg him for peace in front of everybody. Isaiah came with grenade. He came with the sophisticated weapon. All of them. Nobody. Some came with army uniform. Nobody questioned them. Tell me, if you do that in Igbo land today, the governor will say they should go and kill you. They should go and destroy you. Igbos have made themselves to be the weakest. I give you an example why Igbos are making themselves to be the weakest. Do you see what happened in Ghana, where the Ghanaians are saying that Ezendibo must go, Ezendibo must go? What happened to our Igbo people? They say that Igbo chief went and said that, okay, because of that Igbos, Ezendibo in the diaspora should stop, because they pressed them. They feel that way. Igbos cannot stand and say, hey, listen, Ezendibo is our cultural heritage. These people are meant to teach our children in wherever they reside. Igbo culture is not for you, it's for Igbos. Ezendibo is for Igbos. Unless you are Igbos, you listen to them. If you're not an Igbo, then do your thing. But what happened? Igbos, we did not reason. They did not even reason at all. They just say, no more. Okay, we had it. Ezendibo. This is a weak race. Secondly, our great son Simon Ekpa had a problem in Finland. No matter what he has a problem on, he didn't steal. Instead of Ndibo to stand up and say, hey, this is our son, we have to discipline on our own, what did Ndibo do? Ndibo said, oh, some Ndibo even come out to defend and start jubilating. No country do that. Even in this country you are, even in Europe, if you arrest European citizens outside, they will come first to defend their citizens first. They defend the integrity of the country. It's not about that citizen. Integrity of the country. That's what you defend. It's not about individual. Because what happened now? So what happened today? Igbos become the softest target. You see it. If any idiot will come up tomorrow and go and meet P2B and talk rubbish about P2B, he get away with it. But say that about the Northerners. If you talk that about the Northerners, you'll be in trouble. Talk that about Yoruba, you'll be in trouble. You saw a guy that's going to say that last time. He said about Yoruba. He said that Lagos is a no man's land. It doesn't take him 24 hours. He came out. No, 48 hours. He came out and said, no, that's not true. I made a mistake. You heard him. But if it's an Igbo, no, that's it. You say go to hell. Because we made our tribe to be very weak now. We are making our tribe to be weaker. Igbos are not like that before. NNAMDI KANU have been holding. The governors have not shut down the government. Hey, listen, we have told you guys to do this for us. You guys thought, okay, let's shut it down, or you guys should give us this mandate. The governors have not taken that step. So Tinubu play around with us. If you be there, they say it's the governors. If you be there, they say the senators. None of our senators have said, listen guys, we need to shut this thing down. Either this boy is out or we stop this government. We don't care. Tell us what you guys want. They are destroying our brothers' things in Lagos, in Kano, in Abuja. Our brothers, a lot of Igbos, we went in their place, we develop, we build and do everything. They will sell it to us. They will sell their lands to us. After 10 years, they will come back and say, no, Igbos have bought all our land and we need to destroy it. Their governor will start destroying your land. They will not refund the money they bought. They will not refund the money you bought that plot. They steal from Igbos.
Oh yes, this our brother, he have explained a lot of good vital information which it is going directly to everyone that is listening. But the main problem we have, it is the Igbo leaders. They are the main cause of all those things you are seeing that is happening to the Igbo, because whenever they see something happen, they cannot speak and they cannot stand. They will be afraid. They will be fearing of what is fearing of nonsense thing that does not have head. So all those things is lying on the leaders of the Igbo people, because they are afraid to speak and they don't want anybody to call them. That is the main, because they are looking to be a president or to be a senate. That is why most of them, they are afraid. They are afraid. That is why. Well, I would like to hear your comments down below. Like, subscribe, and share it to go around. Let it get to everyone. And thank you for watching.